Call the City of Crystal Council meeting to order. Let's start with roll call, please.
Councilmember Kamish.
Here.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Here.
Councilmember Onessa Rosen.
Here.
Mayor Adams.
Here.
Councilmember Wojciechowski.
Here.
Councilmember Cummings.
Here.
And Councilmember Idebo is absent.
All right, let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have an agenda before us. I'm looking for a motion on that agenda. Go ahead, Therese.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you. John?
I'll second the motion.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. And next, we have an appearance by our Police Chief Revering to do a presentation for us. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. As you know, our department does outstanding work every single day here to serve, protect, and assist those who live, work, and worship or spend time in our community. Most of their work goes largely unrecognized, and we all understand that this is part of our job. However, there are times when the actions of officers far surpass our normal motto of service with compassion, integrity, and professionalism. As part of the police department's recognition program, we feel there are times that accomplishments should be recognized in front of the city council and community, which is why we're here tonight. I am honored to recognize 8 officers tonight whose work has met that threshold by presenting them with Department Lifesaving Awards. This award is presented to department personnel who save a human life in imminent danger of death through the application of medical efforts. If Officer Lauren Roll could step up. On April 13th, 2023, officers were dispatched to an apartment building for a call of a 4-month-old baby that was found floating in a bathtub while the mother stepped out of the bathroom for 2 minutes while the mother was with another toddler. Officer Roll arrived and found the baby limp, pale, not crying, and staring straight ahead. Officer Roll assessed the baby and found the baby was not breathing adequately. She immediately provided back blows to the baby for approximately 2 minutes, eventually causing the baby to begin coughing and crying, and was subsequently transported to the hospital by ambulance. Officer Roll's actions were instrumental in saving the life of a baby who made a full recovery. Congratulations. Lauren, I'm going to have you stay up here. And if Officer Callan and Fechtow could step up. Hi, guys. On May 5th, 2023, officers were dispatched to an overdose at a residence. Officers Callan, Fechtow, and Roll arrived and located a 27-year-old male, unresponsive, sweaty, gasping for air, and not responsive to pain. The caller reported he had observed the male smoking something out of a glass pipe and then snorting something. Officers administered 2 doses of Narcan, inserted an oral airway, and provided rescue breathing and oxygen to the male. After about 7 minutes of emergency care and the second dose of Narcan, the male started to breathe on his own and woke up. He was transported to the hospital for evaluation and stabilization. Congratulations. Lauren, you're going to stay up here one more time. Thanks, you guys. And Sergeant Kirk. Well, apparently I'm calling you, why don't I just call you Captain Kirk? I'll just do that. We'll just call you, wow. Sergeant Kurtz would be, and then is Frank here? Yep, Frank DeBleek, come on up. On September 3rd, 2023, officers were dispatched to a report of an elderly male who was unconscious in a bathroom at a residence. Sergeant Kurtz, Officer Roll, and Beck, and CSO DeBleek arrived, forced open the bathroom door, and found the male unconscious, purple in color, not breathing, and without a pulse. Officers carried the male into the living room and began performing CPR and rescue breathing and hooked up the AED. After several minutes of high-quality CPR and 5 shocks from the AED, the patient regained full color, began breathing on their own, and regained a pulse. He was transported by ambulance to the hospital where his family was able to join him. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great job.
Officer Butterfield, come on up.
Great job.
That's, Marcus is not here, correct? Okay. On June 11th, 2023, dispatch received a call of 2 elderly individuals who were unconscious and possibly suffering from carbon monoxide poisoning at a residence in New Hope. New Hope officers were not available, and officers Butterfield, Issa, and Beck responded to the call. Officers arrived and made entry into the house and immediately identified that there was clearly a toxic level of carbon monoxide gas coming from a van that had been left running in the closed detached garage and 2 elderly adults in grave medical condition. Officers Issa and Beck located the male unconscious and pale with labored anal breathing and carried the male patient out of the house to the front yard, where Officer Beck began life-saving measures by providing oxygen. Officers Issa and Beck went back into the residence and located the female unconscious, pale and barely breathing, with foam coming from her mouth and carrying her from the residence. Officers began life-saving measures on the female by inserting an oral airway and provided oxygen. Both parties were transported to the hospital by ambulance and made a full recovery because of the quick, selfless action of these officers. Congratulations. Mr. Mayor, as you know, it's undoubtedly very humbling for me to stand here tonight and share with these stories to you, for all of you, and to have all of these officers back here doing this heroic work every single day. So we really appreciate the fact that you allow us to do this. Thank you.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. It's amazing to hear these stories. You know, you guys know how much we appreciate what you do and how you serve our community. And it's an interesting, meaningful way that's different than what we do to serve. And it's, you know, being part of public safety, it gets tough sometimes, especially with these medicals and with these death situations. So thank you very much for sharing those with us. It helps us to understand and not get so hung up in the numbers and really feel the impact of what we do here and what you guys do here. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Where are you guys going now? Wait.
All right, next is the consent agenda. I'll read that into the record at this time. First item is minutes from the following meetings: the council work session from January 11th, work session from January 16th, and a council meeting from that same date. Approval of the list of license applications submitted by the city clerk to the city council. That is on file in the city clerk's office. Adoption of a resolution approving Healthy Tree Canopy grant agreement with Hennepin County. Adoption of a resolution authorizing community development block grant application for the 2025 Twin Oaks Parks project. Adoption of a resolution levying a special assessment for fire protection system costs at 3600 Douglas Drive. Approval of council letter to MnDOT Commissioner regarding the airport zoning amendment process, the whole process that we talked about. Adoption of a resolution authorizing a grant for Hennepin County, from Hennepin Farm to Community Local Food Purchase Assistance, LEPA project. And then the last resolution authorizing a provider agreement with Hennepin County to help fund access to youth sports in Crystal. So quite a list there. Looking for a motion on this item. Go, Dave.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, looking for a second. John?
I second that motion.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, is there anybody wishing to speak during open forum? Did we receive any cards? No letters, nothing? Nothing in the mail? All right. We will skip by open forum at this time and move on to the regular agenda. First item on that agenda is the the payments of expenditures over $25,000. Pretty good list today. Bolton Mank Inc. for JWC Pump House Project, that's billable to the JWC of $29,868. Flagship Recreation LLC for Broadway Park Play Area Installation, $50,960. GMH Asphalt Corporation for Community Center Parking Lot, $53,752. HCM Architects for Pool Building Design Project, $31,811. League of Minnesota Cities for Workers' Compensation Insurance, $109,651. IRS Electronic Payments for Federal and FICA Withholding Taxes for pay date 1/5/24, $64,250. Loges for Annual System Development, Network Wellness, and Fiber, $41,039. Met Council for Wastewater Services for February is $143,220. Next Tree Service for tree removal is $69,200. SEH, Short Elliott Hendrickson for 2023 and 24 utility reconstruction project, $39,567. Thomas Pipe Group Pressures for adapters for the PCCP, $90,952. West Metro Fire Rescue District for January contributions, $136,218. Excel Energy electricity for streetlight traffic signals and city buildings, $27,776. Logis for 3-month application support, serving hosts, GIS and tokens for $188,858. Shingle Creek WMO for Shingle Creek dues for 2024 is $29,819. IRS electronic payments again for federal and FICA withholding for pay date 1/19/24 for $71,219. MnPara for city and employee required contributions for the same pay date, $71,905. And the total disbursements, $25,000 or greater, is $1,250,071.22. Questions on any of those items from the council? Yeah, go ahead.
On the next tree service, is that for 2024 or was that for last year?
That's up to now.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
Those are invoiced trees that we've actually removed.
Do we-
Just
do
that
you-
portion.
Is that, okay.
There's,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's just a portion of what we spend annually.
Gotcha. Is it like a quarterly thing we do?
No, it's kind of as done, as invoiced, depending on when the removals take place.
Yeah, we saw a whole bunch of trees leave Bassett Creek Park along the pathway. At least 4 big ones that I could see.
There's some marked Becker, kind of by Becker, so.
Future invoice to look forward to. There you go.
Coming. Yep,
All right.
definitely.
Any other items on here? Anyone? All right, looking for a motion. Go ahead, Tracy.
I will make a motion to approve the list of disbursements of more than 25,000.
All right, thank you, Therese.
I'll second that.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. So the next item is in relationship to our Crystal Airport zoning ordinance. Dan Olson is here. He's our city planner to address the council. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Yes, on January 11th at the work session, I did an overview of the airport zoning, Crystal Airport zoning ordinance that was recently adopted by the Joint Airport Zoning Board, which included MAC and several cities. Tonight, I just wanted to come to you as a follow-up to that, to the option that you spoke of, or selected, I should say, at that work session was to adopt, or to include the ordinance as an appendix to the city code. So I have a I have the PowerPoint that I did on the 11th, if you want me to, but I don't really have anything new since the 11th to report. I would just say that the next step here, if you would decide to adopt this resolution, is to go to the Planning Commission, hold a public hearing, and update the zoning map to include the two airport zoning districts that would be included that are included in the ordinance. So that you would see that first and second reading in March and early April, I believe it is. So with that, I'm available for any questions, or as I said, I could go through the PowerPoint if you'd like me to. But tonight you're being asked to adopt the resolution to include the ordinance as an appendix to the city code.
All right, John, go ahead.
If Forrest was here, he'd probably want to go through the whole presentation, but I think I'm comfortable with what we discussed as of the work session, so.
You do know he can hear you, right?
Oh, I'm sure he can hear everything, yes.
So, yeah, I'm not sure we need to go through it either. Suffice to say, I think we were in very good agreement at the time of the work session that this is the easiest way to go about doing this and the most flexible as well. So we like this option. Thank you, Dan. Any
Great.
other questions? Seeing none, let's have a motion for this one.
Tracy or myself?
Tracy?
Okay.
I missed her hand every time I looked over.
So I make a motion, it's not just I make a motion for the resolution, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution to attach the Crystal Airport zoning ordinance as an appendix to the Crystal City Code.
And looking for a second, Taji?
I'll second that.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Next, the council will consider a resolution approving the contract with Municipal Builders, Inc. for the Joint Water Commission Pump House Project. We have our interim Public Works Director and City Engineer, Ben Perky, here to address the council. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. So as you may recall, the Joint Water Commission Golden Valley and Crystal Pump House project is for both of the pump houses that really control our water flow throughout the member cities, New Hope, Crystal, and Golden Valley. Do you promise? Sorry. Okay. So as a reminder, the reason for this project is the motor replacement at both pump houses as well as the pumps, and then the electrical panels are severely outdated and getting full, so we need to replace those as well. Overview of our schedule. Back in November and December, the Joint Water Commission and the Technical Advisory Committee had approval for moving forward with our plans and specifications, and then council approved plans and specifications and authorized our ad for bid back in December. And then a couple weeks ago, on January 25th, we opened bids. Tonight, we're considering the contract. And then a reminder for our overall construction schedule, it's fall 24 to winter 25 for Golden Valley, because we're trying to avoid the peak water usage that the summer has. And then the following fall, winter 25 into 26 for the Crystal Pump House. Again, we have to split them up because we can't have both pump houses out of operation. As I said, January 25th, we opened bids. We received 4 bids. Municipal Builders, Inc., also known as MBI, was the low bidder with $2,148,728. Funding for this project is out of the Joint Water Commission Capital Project Fund, and there's budgeted $2.7 million. Not up on the screen is also the engineering fees that bring that total up to around $2.4 million, or yeah, $2.4 million overall for the project. So anything remaining will be a contingency during construction, and then anything left over will go back into the JWC Capital Project Fund. So tonight, council is being asked for a motion authorizing the contract for the Joint Water Commission, Golden Valley, and Crystal Pump House improvements.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Questions on this? Go ahead, John.
So likewise, city engineers for the other cities are having a similar conversation about this, or are we the only ones that are spearheading this?
So the Joint Water Commission is running the project, but a city needed to actually lead the project, so Crystal was elected to
Okay.
move forward with that.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? And funding is coming through their capital, so we don't have to worry about that piece of it. All right, no further questions. Thank you, Ben. Looking for a motion on this item. Go ahead, Taji.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution awarding the contract for the Joint Water Commission of Golden Valley and Crystal Pump House Improvement Project.
All right, Dave? Do you second it?
No, I was just, I can't.
Do it, come on, you can
Yeah,
have
you
it.
can jump on that one.
I second it.
All right. All right, all members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
No, you're good.
I apologize. Next item is, what are we on? We're on
6-4.
6-4. Got carried away with my check marks. Thank you. The council will consider a resolution for utility improvements, and Ben is here to talk about that as well. Thanks, Ben.
Yep. So the 2024 utility reconstruction project is Louisiana Avenue from Medicine Lake Road, also known as 27th Avenue, all the way up to 32nd Avenue. That's a state aid street. Also a border street between Crystal and New Hope. And then that blue line that you see, that is 31st Avenue. That is a locally funded street that is completely within the city of New Hope. So we will not be paying for any portion of that. Our schedule back in April, council approved the professional services agreement with SCH, our engineering consultant. Over the last majority of the year, they've been doing design, and also during that time frame, CenterPoint Energy actually got ahead of schedule. Normally they come right before construction starts, but they've actually relocated that gas main already and replaced services to their residences. Tonight, looking for approval for the plans and specs, authorizing ad for bid, and then approving the prohibiting of parking on Louisiana Avenue. March 11th, we will open bids and then consider contract at the following council meeting. Overall for the project communication, typical with past projects, we've done multiple mailings directly to residents, property owners. Also with that, we include a QR code and a link to the YouTube videos that previous Public Works Director Mark Ray had created for our projects. And then we send out surveys and get resident feedback, and then from that, we engage one-on-one with the residents as we need. And then after we receive bids, and if we move forward with the project, there'll be additional mailings to the residents. The overall roadway design, as you may recall, there were residents that came to council to voice their opinion about how we wanted to design the actual roadway, because we were adding a sidewalk, and that was going to narrow up the roadway and restrict parking. So with the resident feedback and council direction, we have a 5-foot sidewalk proposed to be on the east side, which is the Crystal side of the roadway, then 8-foot parking lane on the west side, which is New Hope, so then there will be no parking on the Crystal side of the road. This is just for Louisiana Avenue. Engineer's estimate came in a little over $4 million total for the project, with professional services and testing amount at about $450,000. So overall estimated costs are $4,461,582.90. Our funding between the two cities, Crystal has $2.65 million available for funding, and then New Hope has $1.98. So the total project is estimated to be $168,000 under budget. So as I said, the council is being asked for motion to approve the resolution approving plans and specifications, motion for authorizing ad for bid, and then motion to prohibit parking on the east side of Louisiana Avenue.
All right, any questions for Ben on this one?
What
Taji.
have you heard back from the residents? Anything that we haven't heard?
No, communication as far as with the residents was mainly with that parking and not wanting it directly in front of their homes.
Okay.
But they were very much for the sidewalk being in front of their homes, just because that the east side, the Crystal side, is where all the residences are. So easy access for pedestrians.
They're still complaining about, and we've all heard the complaints, would it be possible to put a stop sign at 30th? 30th in Louisiana to slow traffic down there,
30th.
or 31st?
I would say it's possible, yes. I guess that communication hasn't been directed towards me wanting a stop sign there.
Anybody else thinks that's a good idea?
Is it, but putting a stop sign at 30th or 31st, that's going to make a difference in terms of, traffic in this area, or what?
Well, it would, of course, slow traffic down between 32nd and Medicine Lake Road, and that's what the people are complaining
They're
about.
saying they're going way too fast, and so
Yeah.
we need something that would,
But it's not exactly midway between those
Yeah.
2 points, but it's a logical place for a stop sign. Make a
Yeah.
3-way stop there, and that would slow traffic on Louisiana.
Something like that I would like for the new engineer to kind of make sure it fits the scheme, make sure they do their own analysis and come with a recommendation on it. I don't want to necessarily just start having votes on where we stick
I'm just.
stop signs, but I do understand your voicing a concern of the citizens, and I appreciate that, and I'm not trying to shut it down. I want to be able to do it appropriately rather than
Okay.
have us do it, by motion. Yeah, John, go ahead.
also maybe possibly like on my street, there's a solar powered speed sign, whatever, so basically, it lets you know if you're going well over the 25 miles per hour that I prefer, but anyways, something like that on the street could make a difference as well, too. I also had a constituent on that road that had a concern about a sewer cap that made a lot of noise. Did you hear anything about that by any chance?
Yes, we did hear about that, and that's something that we'll address. We're replacing all the utilities on the project as well, so
Yep.
it'll be a brand-new manhole and casting with it.
Okay, great, fantastic, yep, awesome.
All right. Taji, did you have something?
I did, but I think I forget what it was. To Teresa's point, I am curious, when is an appropriate time for us to explore, traffic calming type of options? If it's a stop sign, if it's, I don't know, you can kind of bump out, some of there's different ways you can design it, obviously, nothing major, but I think if we can at least explore some of those things, as this has been a major topic for our residents. So I'm like, when would be an appropriate time to?
Well, I will say, as was noted at the last meeting, this specific stretch will be going from essentially 4 lane spaces down to 3. So some of those, kind of similar to what those traffic calming measures that the city can implement, some of that's going to be naturally as part of the project. Obviously, it doesn't address issues today, but when the project is done this year, that will be implemented. Are you looking for, your question as far as when is the appropriate time?
Yeah, and I think I would just rely on the experts to explore any and all options we have, and if there, I've done my own research, there's not a ton of options, you can only do so much with a street, but just so that we can ensure we're doing our due diligence to, address our constituents', requests and needs. And again, I think as we're designing the road right now, like, in theory, people should go slower because it's going to be more narrow. But if there is anything else we could consider, I'd like to be able to do that.
Councilor,
Yeah, go ahead.
just to clarify, specifically for this project, when it comes to the design, or?
I think specifically for this project, and also I think holistically, as we do more projects like this, are there creative things, innovative things we can do? Because this is, speeding, cars are probably the number one thing I hear about, And so if we can continue to explore and even, pilot or test some things as we, rebuild these roads, to address some of these issues, I'd like to explore that.
Well, and
Just-
on that end too, are we shutting the road down when it's under construction?
Yes.
So obviously all that traffic's gonna be shunting to other roads, which are narrow. It'd be interesting to see, does that traffic naturally slow down? Are they continuing high speeds? It would kind of be a test, just natural test, based on, the traffic routing to those narrower roads.
Yep. So overall construction, this project will be phased. One of the phases, and we're letting the contractor pick their order, but between 31st and 32nd, that'll be one phase just because of the water main connection there. It'll help us phase that part of construction. And then 31st itself will be a phase. And then it is a longer phase, but from 31st all the way down to Medicine Lake Road. So we will be splitting it up so that we're not asking residents to travel far to have their vehicle if they choose to park it outside of the construction zone, if they're home in the middle of the day or anything like that. So, but yes, to your point, traffic will be diverted to calmer roads typically, mainly 32nd and Medicine Lake Road, and then over to Winnetka or over to Douglas will be kind of the routes for getting around this area.
I guess when we were talking about running tests and stuff, I think there's enough data out there that, of different ways to do it, different ways to slow things down, whether it be bump outs. Our city engineer will have those methods at his disposal. I don't think it will be as experimental as I think the way we expressed it, but there's certainly some things that he can do or she can do to figure out how to accomplish what we're looking for. Yeah. Anything else for Ben?
Just curious, about how long will this take? What's
The construction
Yeah.
phase, we plan to let them start construction in May as soon as load restrictions allow and after we go through all the contract procedures. And then typically with these projects, somewhere between September, October is when we finish.
okay, thank you.
So the warmer temps didn't have any bearing on the road restriction timing at all, since we didn't really have a frost?
It's gonna affect it a little bit, but we did get those colder days in early January that are gonna affect as the frost comes out, and then it's just, you're gonna have so much moisture in the ground as well that it's just gonna, pavement's gonna move.
Especially at my house. All right. Anything else? Looking for a motion. We got 3 of them, right?
Yep.
All right, John, hit it.
Make a motion approving plans and specifications for the 2024 utility reconstruction project.
All right, looking for a second. Taji?
I'll second
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. John?
I make a motion ordering advertisements for bids for the 2024 utility reconstruction project.
All right, looking for a second. Taji?
I'll second that.
All right, all members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Number 2. Is that right?
Parking.
I'll make
Next item.
Oh, next item. 6.5. Ben, do we need anything more on that?
This is standard.
If there's any questions for me regarding that, but like I said, it's just, with adding the sidewalk and narrowing the road, no parking on the east side of Louisiana.
Okay. John?
Make a motion prohibiting parking on the east side of Louisiana Avenue North from Medicine Lake Road to 27th Avenue to 32nd Avenue North.
All right. Taji?
I'd like to second that.
All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. Thank you, Ben. We do have a couple announcements. Next city council meeting is Tuesday, February 20th. That's at 7 PM here at Crystal City Hall, right here where we are right now. Also available via Zoom. Met Transit in Hennepin County will be holding a community open house to show the latest plans for the Blue Line extension on Thursday, March 7th from 5 to 8 PM. And that's at the Crystal Community Center. A reminder that work sessions and council meetings are open to the public. Current and previous meetings are available for viewing on our website at crystalmn.gov. You can go there for viewing and or listening. Do we have any other announcements? Seeing,
Mr. Mayor, one thing, we were notified today that the grand opening for Wine Thief and Ale Jail is going to be February 23rd. The council, they haven't given us the information for the ribbon cutting yet, but we'll get that to you as soon as we can. We were just notified of that today.
Nice.
Finally,
good news for them.
yes.
Yeah, I bet they're chomping at the bit. All right. John,
Make a motion to adjourn?
all right, looking for a second? Nobody's interested?
I'll second that.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, thank you.
All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.